I'll let that one settle. All right. Where do we begin? It's a long drive back. Miami Heat, they lose Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals to the rat bastard Celtics, 104-103. Derek White, like a gazelle, leaping out of nowhere. Nobody impeding him after Marcus Smart heaves up a missed three. Derek White beats the buzzer. And the Eastern Conference Finals is all even at 3 games apiece. And crazy. I mean, Miami had this furious rally in this game. It looked like it was going to be really bad. It was just a very, very weird game. A very, very weird game where Jimmy and Bam were just awful. I mean, couldn't hit water if they fell out of a friggin' boat. And somehow, some way, because Miami was on fire from 3, and you got great performances from Caleb Martin, and you got a bunch of threes in this game from Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson. Somehow, you were able to just stick around, never wilt away. But in the end, you're staring history, the barrel of history, right down. You're staring shameful history right down the barrel. And give up a 3-0 series lead to be all even going into Boston. And it's crazy, man. It was a wild affair, such an emotional swing being at the arena, and everybody could kind of just feel it where, Boston gets to this point where they're up 10. Celtics got they got an and one. Marcus Smart, he kind of hooked Duncan Robinson, went up 10 with about 4 minutes left, and it was nuts. It was crazy. Jimmy then just starts going like a maniac after, for whatever reason, seemingly being, disengaged all game or not being able to get his offensive game going. He just, like a maniac, just starts throwing his neck at the rim, gets to the free throw line a ton, throws in a 3-pointer, and Miami somehow finds themselves within a reach of winning this game. And you have a few golden opportunities. Jimmy went to the line, and he was 1 for 2. The Heat got the rebound. Duncan Robinson had all day to hit a 3-point shot. He missed. And even with that, and the Celtics being able to go up 4, Jimmy Butler, like a maniac, goes down, gets the and one, brings Miami to within a point, and they get the stop. Bam. He hits Duncan Robinson with a transition 3, wide open again. Could have put the Heat up. They foul Marcus Smart. 17 seconds left. Misses 1 of 2. Makes 1 of 2, I should say. They're up 2. Jimmy Butler takes it into his hands. He gets fouled by Al Horford. They review it. It's 3 free throws. He makes them all. I'm holding hands with a media member under the table. You think, oh my God, they're going to pull this mother bleeping thing off. And they need one more stop. I saw the video of Jimmy saying they need one more stop. And they had one mission. Spo made this clear afterwards. Don't let Jason Tatum get the ball. They didn't. Marcus Smart did. He missed it. Derek White out of nowhere. Springs free. Nobody on him to box him out. Max Strus was paying attention apparently to Tatum. And he willy-nilly gets the tip in. And that was your game. And it was almost cruel, man. It's funny. Jimmy was talking about this. It's almost like the same script that happened last year in Game 7 where you make this furious comeback. Jimmy has the 3 to go win it. This time he was able to put him up. All they needed was a stop, and they couldn't get it. They couldn't mother bleeping get it. So it's been a lot to gather. I'm not going to lie. That's one of the last year was a thudding ending for sure. Losing with Jimmy. Shot at the buzzer, with a chance to send you to the finals. He couldn't do it. This one certainly hurts more for a couple of reasons. I mean, one, the circumstances of the series, right? Like, you're up 3-0. You are now at 3-3. And Miami was, with their 2 stars stinking up the joint today, seemingly going to find themselves in a position to get themselves to the NBA Finals. And it was just ripped away from you. The Celtics just ripped it away from you. And yeah, it's painful, man. And I've seen that damn Celtics team win a lot of games in our building. I know that the Heat have had good success up there too, but man, it has been it's been so friggin' brutal to see that team get to celebrate so many good moments now in front of Miami. And this one particularly hurts because there's so many what ifs you're going to look at. And it's tough not to reflect on all that stuff before you go into this Game 7. But almost the pain of this just it almost erases the embarrassment of a way of the 3-0, because it's like it doesn't matter now. It's just like you're there. But that's going to be forever. You were milliseconds away from being back in the NBA Finals, and now you have to go play another game. So it's a tough one, man. I get all the natural reaction of how the hell does Miami gather themselves? How the hell do they get themselves back off the canvas? How do they bring themselves to perform on Monday night in Boston, Game 7? Celtics not only a win away from clinching a trip to the NBA Finals back-to-back years at your expense, but having the chance to do something for the first time in history. And yeah, it sucks because it's like you as a Heat fan, you're thinking here, and I'm like, we're sitting here with the 3%, guilty of it, hated those mother bleepers for saying Miami had no shot, which, look, I'm still pissed about either way, one way or the other, because Miami has been just there with Boston and lockstep this entire series. Even with however the series has gone, you're talking about 2 teams once again going to a Game 7 in back-to-back years. So, yeah, it's embarrassing coughing up a 3-0 lead, don't get me wrong, but like the point that people gave them 0 chance going into this series was kind of crazy. But that's a B-level problem right now. That has nothing to do with nothing. It's just it's trying to find yourself, how they can rally themselves, how they can gather themselves. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough task that Spo has. He sounded a little bit like a maniac after the game. Here was the Heat head coach.
It's just a shame, but look, this is the way this season's been. This is a one hell of a series. At this time right now, I don't know how we're going to get this done, but we're going to go up there and get it done. And that's what the next 48 hours is about. There's been nothing easy about this season for our group, and so we just have to do it the hard way. and that's just the way it's got to be, for our group. And we wish we could tip this thing off right now. Right now, we want to tip this thing off, and let's play another 48 minutes. But we'll wait 48 hours and do this thing in Boston.
Yeah, I think Jimmy and Bam ended up going a combined 9 of 37 from the field.
I don't give a damn what they shot.
We're
up. We're up one. We may win this thing as ugly as it's ever been done. I don't care.
Yeah.
What guys shoot. It's the competitive will that I'm talking about, and those guys are going to bring it on. It's playoffs, so I have no idea what the day is, but I guess Monday. All right, that good? Thank you.
It's crazy. I mean, look, tipping it off right now, I think everybody was pretty exhausted, Celtics included. I think everybody was pretty exhausted from that game. I mean, you were in a game today where basically each coach was playing 7 players. Like both coaches played 8 guys, but Sam Hauser played 2 minutes for them, and Cody Zeller played 2 minutes and was a -7 in his work today. So they're at a point right now. Kevin Love didn't play. He was taken out of the starting lineup. Caleb Martin got more minutes, which I do agree with. I mean, Caleb's, bar none, been the most consistent player in this series for Miami. Like, Jimmy was doing the rallying and the willing at the end. It did seem like Caleb's legs were a little bit dead by the end of things. But make no mistake. I mean, look, Caleb was still a monster. 21 points, 15 rebounds. But Jimmy was... why it took him so long to wake up, I don't know. I mean, you almost look at him and Bam's field goals today in disbelief with how bad they were. Bam with 11 points today, 11 points and 4 of 16 from the field, and Jimmy was at 5 of 21. It's just tough to wrap your mind around that stuff, and some of it was just like point blank stuff. I mean, I know Boston's doing a good job of packing the paint, but it's just like, come on, guys. The way these guys have shrunk since the Heat have gone out 3-0 is mind-boggling. And even with all that being said, to have the lead with seconds remaining is crazy. Here was Bam Adebayo on his struggles today.
Yeah, Bam, you were clearly trying to be more aggressive on the offensive end. Just what do you think you got to do in Game 7 just to be a little bit more efficient with your scoring?
Shot. For me, man, keep shooting the shots I'm shooting. I got confidence in myself like no other. So, for me, man, feels like a lid is on the rim, but, I got to figure out how I can make that basketball go in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I feel the same way, too. It's like, I wish you could just make a shot, too. That was very much how I felt with his performance today. And I know Spo said afterwards, he's like, I don't care what they shot today. Well, it's hard not. I mean, Jimmy basically said it after the game, and Jimmy, to his credit, as a star should, took the blame for this. It's hard not to.
As good or as bad as we played tonight, we still lost, so we still got a job to do at the end of the day. And we will be in this thing together, home, away, on the road. And if, like I told the guys on the bench, I told the guys in the locker room that if I play better, we're not even in this position, honestly speaking. And I will be better, and that's what makes me smile because those guys follow my lead. So when I'm playing better, I think we're playing better as a whole.
You mentioned being level-headed. The night going as it was for you individually, what were you thinking about? What was your mindset in those last 5 minutes? And in that final stretch, did you feel like you found some answers?
I feel like I made some shots. That's the game as a whole. But I know the work that I put into it. I know the work that we put into it. And I know the confidence and the faith that my coaches and teammates and this entire organization has in myself and everybody else on this roster. We're not going to change. We're going to keep doing punches with the best of them. We're going to see where we end up. But like I said, if I'm better from Jump Street, we're not even in that position. So everything that happened tonight, if I don't go 5 for 21 and turn the ball over and all of this good stuff, it's a different story. I got on a different hat up here, and we're getting ready to go to the finals.
As an aside for today, though, if I could just say one thing that made me happy, God, it made me happy to see Gogi in the building. Oh, those face. Oh, that face. Those cheeks. Ah, the smile. I miss Goran so much. I miss you, Gogi. Oh, man. So, yeah, man. I mean, look, you got a lot of gathering to do from here. I get everybody who's writing the Heat off. It's a natural thing to think that they are shell-shocked here going into Monday night. The only thing I can say is, playoffs are weird. Strange stuff happens with momentum. Look, you would have thought the Celtics would have packed it up, didn't you? I mean, they were down 3-0. They were barely looking at their coach, and they were able to pull themselves up off the canvas. Miami, they find themselves almost in a similar spot that they won a series in. I mean, it's a decade ago, but remember the Spurs losing in overtime to the Heat because of the Ray Allen shot. And they made a game 7. It wasn't like they went away. It took everything the Heat had to clinch that series. Tim Duncan missing a bunny. LeBron James with a clutch jumper. So, Miami is going to a place that is going to be hostile. It's going to be crazy. But I will say, look, the Heat crowd was crazy today when, Duncan started making threes at the end there. The crowd was rocking. The crowd today, which was on edge most of the time in that fourth quarter, was really trying to do all they can. I thought they were fantastic. But it's a wild thing. Look, I know there's also a lot of social media stuff talking about the time, which is kind of something I missed out on. I don't spend when I'm at games. I don't spend a ton of time on Twitter, believe it or not, because at home games, at road games when I'm home, I'm on Twitter all the time. So, but I do notice. It's funny. I do notice in my notes. I'm like, oh, Jimmy gets fouled, goes to the line, 103, 102, 2 seconds left. And then when they're challenging it, they go back, they give him the 3 free throws, and then he's back to 3 seconds. So I guess what had happened was 2.1 seconds when Jimmy initially has the call. They went back and I guess they changed it. Most people are saying it should have been 2.8 seconds. Would that have been the difference of the Derek White? Maybe. I know a lot of people are saying on that play for Jimmy too, he might have double dribbled. Look, dude. It's it's too painful to even get into this stuff. Who cares, right? I'm not going to sit here and dwell on did the referees finagle the points or whatever. I guess we'll find out in the 2-minute report, but ultimately you lost. They're not going to go back. You can't protest it. So it's painful, man. It's painful. That's painful. I'm going to go back. I'm going to think about a lot of things in this game. I'm going to think about the moment that Derek White hit that shot. I'm going to think about why the hell Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo were building a brick house there, like the third little pig. I'm going to think about Goran Dragic's smile, just to make me feel a little bit better. I'm going to think about those wide-ass open Duncan Robinson shots. He will too. This was Duncan after the game.
Duncan, the 2 late threes wide open that you had, how do they feel? How do they look coming out?
Oh, man, I mean, first one, couldn't believe how much time I had, checked the wind and everything. Obviously, you want to get those back. It's all juiced up, missed them both long. So, those will stick with me, but got to have a short memory. I can worry about those later. For now, it's about Game 7.
And I'm going to think about this team. Look, this has been a very weird year. You're talking about an 8 seed that is trying to get to the NBA Finals. You're talking about a team that literally took the last few minutes of a play-in game to get to this point. You're talking about a team that gentlemen swept a 2-time MVP, had him not believing in failure, got here. You're talking about a team that, with their star hobbled on an ankle, was able to push themselves to the Eastern Conference Finals. And you're talking about a team that has dealt with a lot of ebbs and flows all season. They, were kings of the clutch game. Spo's talking about this today. How many haymakers they've taken, how many daggers they've taken that they've had to emotionally get through. Me looking at the coach, getting frustrated when he's talking about, good things are happening when they're losing to the Hornets and the Pistons, and when they take on tough teams with their stars, they'd somehow come out on top. So, yeah, it's appropriate that I guess it is appropriate that it comes down. I really wish it didn't come down to this game on Monday. But look, if any team is going to push this thing to the absolute brink and need every single game, every single second to get themselves to the NBA Finals, maybe this is the team. Maybe this team hasn't made sense all year. This team has been weird all year. This team had 15-point leads that they would blow. They would come back from 15-point deficits and come back and win. They are an 8 seed that took a 3-0 lead on a heavily favored Boston Celtics team and have somehow squandered that all away, with the third game being right there at the buzzer. So I'm not ruling anything out in this Game 7. I naturally will understand everybody who wants to say the Heat have no shot. Cool. Look, with their performances over these last 3 games to put themselves in this position, I can't really blame you. But I'm a psychotic Heat fan. As Dade South says, I'm Wild Heat Coyote. I will always fall for it. I will fall for the Acme Dynamite until the end. Maybe this is how it was all meant to be for the Heat to get to the NBA Finals. Go into Boston, rip their hearts out. Jimmy Butler and Bam, for God's sakes, do better. Hey, do better. Don't go down like this. Don't go down like this. And let's see. Monday is, it feels like Monday is going to be a long wait. Spo was like, let's do it now. You sound crazy. But that's why we love him. So definitely going to have some more drinks tonight to soak this away. Oh, yeah. I'm going to need like 4 more of those.